Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be working on the slanted shell stitch. I'm just going to be doing a small little sample of the stitch itself, but I'm going to give you measurements and sizes for the baby blanket, and also to be able to use this in a scarf pattern. So this is the baby blanket that I'm currently working on. I just have not made as much progress on it that I thought I was going to be able to the time I wanted to film this. So I'm just going to go ahead and film it as a stitch tutorial, but I will be able to give you those measurements and everything for you to be able to use this in both the baby blanket and the scarf pattern. And eventually, once I get these done, these will be in written form in my shop, so if you're interested in that. But I do want to go ahead and share it with you because I really love this stitch. So I hope that you can see it. It's kind of a slanted, it is a shell stitch that's slanted to the side, so they kind of kitty corner back and forth as you're doing it. But I really like them. I really like this stitch. It's really nice. It's going to be a really nice blanket when I'm done. And I think it would be really nice for not only blankets, but for a scarf or a cowl, or even a top. If you had like a drop shoulder top, this would be really nice for that. Of course, it is holey, so you would have to wear something underneath it, but like I said, I'm really liking this stitch, so I wanted to go ahead and share it with you. And like I said, I will give you all those measurements and everything for the projects that you can use this for. At least, you know, the scarf and the blanket. You could use this for pretty much anything that's a flat panel. So, obviously, if you're going to be using it for a blanket or even a scarf, you could go all the way up to a 6mm or a 6.5mm. I'm going to go ahead and use a 5.5mm because that's what I got on hand. And I'm just going to be using some mainstays. I think it's green. Yeah, just green. Any worsted weight yarn will work. Of course, you could probably use a different weight of yarn, but you know, your measurements won't be the same as mine, so definitely keep that in mind. So this stitch requires multiples of 5 plus 4 on the first row, the first chaining row. So you're going to do your multiples of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to chain 4 more, because you need that for this beginning row, and that's the only time you're going to do it. It's just the 4 more is for your starting stitches. So 4 more, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And into the 5th stitch, which should be the last one that you worked before the 4, you're going to put 4 double crochets. And I am going to be working in the back loop because we want that nice neat edge. So we're going to count back our 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in that 5th one, we're going to put 4 double crochets into the back loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and put 1 more double crochet into that stitch, that same stitch we've been working in. We're going to skip 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in that 6th stitch, we're going to put 4 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and put 1 more double crochet into that same stitch. And we're going to skip 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in that next stitch, we're going to put 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet, all into the same stitch. That's 3. Here's 4. Gonna chain 2, and then our last double crochet into that stitch. I'm going to skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in that 6th stitch, you're going to put your 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet. There's 2, 3, 4, chain 2, and then 1 more double crochet into that stitch. And then in this last stitch, we're going to put 1 double crochet into the last stitch. So this is what you should have right now. It looks a little wonky, but once you get going, it'll lay nice and flat. Okay, so we chained 1 and turned. We're going to put 1 double crochet into this beginning stitch here. And then we're going to hop over to this chain 2 space, and we're going to put our little cluster stitches here. So we're going to put 4 double crochet, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then 1 more double crochet into that stitch, or into that chain 2 space. Now we're going to hop over to our next chain 2 space and do the same thing. So 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet. Okay, we're going to hop over to our next chain 2 space and repeat the shell cluster again. So 4 double crochets, 2, 3, 4, chain 2, and then 1 more double crochet into that space. So we have 1 more chain 2 here. We're going to put another cluster in. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet into that space. and we're going to put 1 double crochet into this chain 4 that we have here in the beginning to finish off our row. So this is what you should have. So far. You're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to put 1 double crochet into that beginning stitch, and then we're just going to hop over to the chain 2s and do our slanted shell cluster. So that's 4 double crochets, 3 and 4, chain 2, and then 1 more double crochet. I'm going to hop over to our next chain 2 space, put 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet. So it's 3, 4, chain 2, and then 1 more double crochet. We're going to hop over to our next chain 2 space, put 4 double crochets in it, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and 1 more double crochet into that same space. And then we have 1 more chain 2 space. And put 4 double crochets in it. It's 3, 4. And we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. And then put our last double crochet there. And then we're going to jump over to our last stitch here and put our double crochet, 1 double crochet in that last stitch. So this is what you should have. You're just going to repeat that until you get your project the length that it needs to be. So for the next row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to put a double crochet into that beginning stitch, and then we're going to jump over to our chain 2 and put 4 double crochets, chain 2, and 1 double crochet all into that chain 2 space. So 1, 2, and then our last double crochet. And then we're going to jump over to our next chain 2 space and put 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets. So chain 2, and then our 1 double crochet all into the same space. We're going to hop over to our next chain 2, put 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet all into the chain 2 space. One, 2, and then our last double crochet there. So we have 1 more chain 2 space. There's 3, 4, chain 2, 1, 2, and put our last double crochet in there. And then we just need to put our last double crochet here in the last stitch. And that is what you're going to repeat until your project gets the length that it needs to be. This is definitely a project that has to be blocked when you're done, but I really like it. The stitch is very different, and it adds a lot of texture and everything, so definitely give it a try if you haven't. If you have any questions, as always, shoot me a message and I'll help you as much as possible. But the stitch really isn't as hard as it seems. Once you kind of get past this first row here, you're just working into the chain 2s. So as long as you remember your 1 double crochet at the beginning and the end of your row, you'll be fine. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pop in just an extra screen here at the end that gives you the measurements for both the blanket and your standard scarf. But like I said, you could use this for pretty much anything that you wanted. Blankets, scarves, cowls. I think this would be a beautiful sweater, as I said before. If you had just like a drop shoulder sweater that just had, square panels, I think this would be a really nice stitch for that. Like I said, pretty much anything that you can think of that pretty much works itself in a flat panel, you can use this stitch on. So I hope that you guys liked it, and have a great day.